Well, hello everybody! Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. A beautiful day again today. Just I don't know what the high was, but I did see 100 degrees when I went in around lunchtime. But yeah, the humidity is not that bad, so it was time to get some work done. So I got my drag sled here, and I cut off all the old cutters. That's what all this scrap metal is right here, worn out completely. And then I modified it, and I put, instead of just two little cutters on each side, I put a full V here at a tighter angle than the back one. So this one will cut into the center of the road, spread it out to where the tire tracks are, which are usually deeper. Then that one will smooth it out in the final back gauge there. Now, of course, remember, this thing is upside down. It's ready to flip back over. I didn't bother knocking the slag off the welds because that's just a drag sled. It's just going to get dragged in the dirt anyway. So I added a little piece of this heavy-duty angle iron on the nose of the cutter, and I got one here too. So that gives it a little extra strength at that point where it's going to be taking the main hits on the rocks and stuff. So this is ready to work. I had a request that somebody wanted to see me drag sled the road. Well, because this is behind the van now, it's kind of hard to video while I'm driving the van. But what I think I might be able to do is I'll get this thing hooked up to the van, and I'll have the camera on the dashboard of the van, showing you the road as I approach it, what it looks like. The drag sled, of course, will be behind the van doing its thing. And then when I turn a loop around, because I have loop arounds at both ends of the run, when I do the loop around and head back, you'll see where the drag sled has done its job on the first pass. And sometimes this takes 2 or 3 passes to get things smoothed out. And that rain from Hillary was pretty heavy from what we normally get, so there's some deep ruts in the road, and I got to get those straightened out because it's a pain in the neck driving on that stuff. Anywho, that was part of the major stuff that I did today. I got that metal from my neighbor, and it was on this big rack of whatever it was, and that angle iron went down the center of it here, and I had to grind off the rivets with the 4-inch grinder and a metal grinding wheel on it, and then knock them out so that I could use that piece of angle iron. And it was just the right amount, exactly what I needed. So thank you, John and Letty. I appreciate that. And then I will end up cutting these rivets off too, and take all of these pieces of metal and stack them on a shelf or something somewhere so that I have them. And then that one piece of flat stock running along the edge, I'll do the same with that. Now this little piece of flat stock was the same. But this was a brace on the end here. It was welded on an angle like this over to the center where the angle iron came down the center. So I got that one put aside. I want to show you something else that I made while I had the welder and the cutters and all that stuff out today. So I made a little handy tool here, and this is it. And everybody's looking at it and going, what the heck is that? Okay, well, I'm going to show you what it is. You can put this down like this, and let's say I wanted to weld something onto that, but I I need to hold it in place while I'm welding. So I take this and I can set the piece that I need to hold into position like that. And this thing, the weight actually holds it in place. So now I can tack weld it and then take this thing away. See what I mean? Cool, huh? I made that out of some scrap I had laying around. A lot of times I'm doing some work in here by myself, and I need that third hand. You know, need one hand to hold the item, and then two hands to do the work on it. Well, that little thing will save me a lot of hassle. So I gave it a little coat of black paint while I was at it, and I hung it up right there on the wall so I know where it is. And I'm off to see the wizard. Help me, Mr. Wizard. Anyway, that's about it. I'm going to clean up the tools here now. It's past supper time. I already gave the dogs their supper and their chews. Didn't I, doggy daddy? You got your supper and your chew, huh? Did you eat it all, or did one of the dogs steal it from you? Yeah. You always got to keep an eye on me, make sure I'm okay. You're a good dog. All right. Well, I'm going to get cleaned up here and put things away and go inside and pop a cold one. I never drink when I'm working, especially with tools. And even without tools, because it makes it hard if you use up one hand to hold your drink and so forth and so. Anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody. Don't forget your thumbs ups. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and leave your comments, questions, and etc. down at the bottom. This is G Bear signing off.